Yo, what's going on, guys? So, I just wanted to share my experience with you of my 72-hour fast. Well, to be exact, it's not quite 72 hours yet. I have 2 more hours, and then it will be 72 hours before I eat. I just wanted to share my experience, the reason why I decided to do it and what's the benefit as well. So on Sunday, I experienced kind of gut discomfort, and I've been feeling a gut discomfort for about a week. Every time I was eating, my gut was just bloated. So I was thinking to myself, something is wrong. I have no idea what it is, but when I eat something, my stomach was just swelling. And for a few days, it was just not progressing. It didn't matter what I was eating. And in fact, even if I had a simple drink, it was still swelling. So I thought to myself, I'd seen a few articles online and I'd watched a few reels by doctors talking about intermittent fasting and also like longer form fasting. Now, I've been doing intermittent fasting for about maybe 5 or 6 years. And I would say in the last maybe couple of years, I've been doing one meal a day. Um, and when you fast, and have the one meal a day, you really look forward to that one meal. It's like the whole day relies on it, you know? And people think it's easy. If you do one meal a day, you get used to it. So doing longer fasts will be easy, but it's a real mental process to wait for that one meal. And then when you finally eat, it tastes incredible. So I'd been going through this gut discomfort for, a week, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. And I don't want to go to the doctor because they'll just say, oh, okay, just take antibiotics or some kind of anti-inflammatory. And from what I've seen of these functional medicine, naturopathic doctors, is that if you were to do at least a 3 day fast, you're going to experience lots of great things in terms of like a body reset. So I thought I would rather do that as an experiment than to take some form of drugs. Even before that time, I was having digestive enzymes, my hydrochloric acid, molecular hydrogen water, even things to help with blood sugar control. But I was just feeling uncomfortable constantly. And I was like, what's going on? I don't recall eating anything like terribly unhealthy, but I did go through an episode where I had some kind of flu symptoms. So I don't know even if it was COVID. Um, it started off with minor headache. This was like perhaps a week or 2 weeks prior, where I started off with a little bit of phlegm in the throat, progressed to a little bit of a cough, then a headache, then the body was aching. And yeah, I was just like not feeling 100%. But I didn't lose my appetite. I was still quite hungry, and during the times when I'd had the flu before, I never really wanted to eat, or COVID for that matter. But I was still hungry. I was shivering during the night, shivering during the day, and then I would get hot. Um, and I was coughing, and then it got really, really chesty. I was like, damn. So what is it? So it was strange. Had a chesty cough and didn't lose my appetite, which was so strange. And then eventually it slowly went away. And I was like, okay, back to normal. But then after that, that's when the gut issue happened. So I'm not too sure whether my immune system just kind of got compromised and I had some kind of gut inflammation, which made me decide I'm going to do a 3 day fast. Okay, so on a Sunday, I ate my last meal was at 6:30, and then it felt really bad. During the night, my stomach just felt really bad. And I thought, I'm going to fast. I'm going to fast this shit out. And I really want to I just want this all to stop because this is not making any sense to me. And then when it came to Monday, I'm normally used to intermittent fasting anyway. So until it reached about um, close to 6:30 the following day, that was already 24 hours. And I was thinking, normally I would eat by that point. And it's such a psychological thing where you're used to eating by a certain point. And I was like, okay, I'm going to push it to the next day at least and see how I go. And as it got a bit later and later, I just kept thinking about food. It felt really, really hard. But then I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm just going to go to sleep. If I sleep, it's easier to get through it. So I went to sleep quite early on Monday and then thought, let me see how I feel on Tuesday. On Tuesday, it came and I felt quite rough. I woke up and I felt pretty shitty. And I was like, do you know what? I might break my fast today. And as the hours went by, I thought to myself, look, you're on day two. It's not too bad. You don't feel good, but you just have one more day. So during this fast, I wasn't completely like not consuming anything. I just was not consuming food. I wasn't having any protein shakes or smoothies or anything with like high amount of calories. However, I was drinking mineral water and I did have a couple of digestive enzymes because the stomach was just not feeling good. I just thought, let me just take it anyway. I didn't take any hydrochloric acid, so I had some Masszymes, and this is what I had here by Optimizers, and I felt as though it did take away the uneasy feeling. Um, and I just started to drink a lot of tea as well. So during the day, I was drinking tea. I have a feeling my stomach is going to rumble in a second. Ah, you probably didn't hear it, but yeah, it just rumbled. Um, and yeah, so this one here, Puka or Pucka, I'm not too sure what the brand name is, but it's got like lots of different organic teas. Excuse me, elderberry and echinacea, lemon, ginger, and manuka honey. Another one called Feel New, and then three mint and nighttime. And they've all got like, different types of roots and herbs in each one. And it's organic. So I was drinking lots of tea. I felt like, oh my God, I need to consume something. And so I drank that. Also, molecular hydrogen water, another non-calorific uh, liquid consumption. This helps to reduce any stress in the body. Um, and if you have any kind of inflammation in the body, it keeps it down as well. There's another type of tea which I found on Amazon. Don't know how to say it. Cubra Pedro. Cubra Pedra. So this here is supposed to be very good for cleansing the kidneys, like really giving the kidneys a good clean out. So I was drinking that. So I wasn't really counting how much teas I was drinking. I was drinking. Just felt like I needed to have something, needed to consume something. The first day of the fast, or should I say the after Sunday, the Monday, um, I went for my normal morning routine in terms of um, uh, bathroom elimination, which was quite simple. And then later on in the day, I still went. Um, but the next day, it seemed a lot less. And I can't recall whether I did. I think I did this morning. And not to be graphic, but it was a lot more liquid. But yeah, there was still an elimination process. I would assume if a person is going a full 7 days, it might come to a point where maybe there's nothing. I don't know. I don't know. Um, yeah. So when it comes to a 3 day fast, it's a little bit different to intermittent fasting because you have a break and then you eat. You have a break and you eat. If you do like a 16/8, it's actually quite easy. If you do, yeah, it just seems like a normal day. So if you was to eat between 10 and 6, 9 and 5, 8 and 4, it is very easily sustainable. If you do, you could do like a 24. So fast for 20 hours, eat within a 4 hour window. That is, it gets to a point where that's quite easy as well. Now, generally speaking, I'd have one meal a day unless I'm doing certain things where I'm out with friends, or I might go to a restaurant, then I might eat 2 meals. And it's yeah, quite easy after some time. I would say start off with intermittent fasting with a normal 16/8, and then you can reduce it down by like just kind of changing the ratios over by just trying to think. My head is a little bit tired. 16/8, and then reducing the 8 down into a 6 and then down into a 4, then single meal. Now, anyway, what is the benefits of the 3 day fast? Now, the first thing is autophagy. Autophagy is a mechanism like of cellular cleaning. It's where the body is removing dysfunctional cells from the body. Over time, your body accumulates crappy cells, and sometimes those dysfunctional cells can affect other cells in the body. Now, when you are fasting, your body needs to be as efficient as possible. And it cannot be working with rubbish cells. So it's like, okay, we are desperate right now. Let's get rid of all the shitty cells. They're not working good enough. So it gets rid of the bad cells and it really works on enhancing the strength of the existing cells. So autophagy is the process of that, which so getting rid of bad cells can help to promote longevity and also issues against disease, or dysfunctional cells can lead to disease. So if your body has less or no dysfunctional cells, this means a more robust immune system and promotes longevity. The next thing is weight loss. Now, you could say it's kind of a form of a calorific deficit because you're not eating anything. So it's you're not going to be consuming any calories, and your body is going to reduce body fat in the process. This changes the process of not eating. It changes the kind of like the your metabolic flexibility. The body shifts from using glucose, because glucose then becomes empty within a certain period of time, depending how active you are, to then burning fat. Your body will utilize amino acids to a degree, in a form called gluconeogenesis, and turn that to carbohydrates so that your body has sugars to use, but it will also use ketones. So it will break down fat as a form of energy. So bear that in mind. There's also a part where you'll get mental clarity. Now, for me, I think this kind of kicked in today. I had a couple of meetings, and there was a point where I just felt almost a flow state. On day two, it was tough. I felt crappy. I felt tired. And I was like, damn, I don't know. I don't know if I can push this further, or I don't know if it's going to be comfortable with how long I push this for, but I'm going to give it a go. I was kind of feeling determined that I'll do it, but I didn't know how I was going to feel. Now, that day three felt better than day two. So you will feel a sense of clarity. And there's supposed to be like a kind of neurotransmitter balance where your body is, um, I don't know, is kind of like, it just gives you this clearer focus. I found myself contributing a lot more in the meeting than maybe even normal days, to be fair. And I felt like a good cognitive function. Um, Even when I was leaving some voice notes to some friends, they were like, "Are you sure you've been fasting? Because your energy sounds pretty loud. Like sorry, you sound pretty robust in energy." And I was like, "Really?" I wasn't really thinking about it, but yeah. Um, you on day three, from my experience, you feel a bit better. So people who do the longer fasts, like 7 days, you're supposed to get a lot more mental clarity. So with that, you get something called BDNF, which is called, oh shoot, brain derived nootropic factor, which supports the brain health and enhanced memory and learning, apparently. But studies have shown that this is the case. Also, uh, reduced inflammation. So, not eating helps to lower inflammation, um, which is linked to illness and inflammation, which leads to disease and cancer and that sort of thing. So, any type of potential inflammation in the body is supposed to help reduce that. How it works, I think it may be through the process of autophagy. They're linked that way. And somehow, I don't know how it works, but your growth hormone is supposed to increase, supposed to significantly increase HGH, human growth hormone, aiding in muscle maintenance and fat metabolism and overall vitality. Now, from my experience, I don't know in terms of if I've lost muscle or not. Now, because I haven't been eating, and I know that muscle holds on to a lot of the carbohydrates, lots of sugars, and like if you eat lots of carbs and you eat lots of water and salt, your body can store a lot of water. Now, if you are not eating and the glycogen levels runs low, then also the water which is held into the muscles is going to go down. Now, my normal weight is around 100. Recently, I weighed 101 kilos. And this morning, it just dawned on me, maybe I should check my weight. And when I checked this morning, I was 95.7 kilos. So I was like, oh, wow, 95.7. So, if we was to round it to 95, that's like 6 kilos in 3 days, which is wild, wild. I would say more water. Now, I'm going to be introducing food a bit later, and it will be interesting to see how my body weight goes up within the next few days. Just eating normal. I will still stick to one meal. I think over the weekend, I might have a couple more meals because I'll be going out. I'm planning to go for a massage, and I might have a couple of meals, like a meal in the afternoon and again in the evening. And on Sunday, I will probably have a couple of meals again. How big those meals might be, I'm not too sure. It depends on how I feel. Um, but yeah, there's other benefits as well, which is digestive health. Obviously, it's a reset on the gut. There's no gut processing going on. So, resting your gut will allow itself to repair and potentially improve issues like bloating and indigestion. So, I felt like I needed this because everything I was eating, there was a problem. Like everything was causing pain. And I'm actually looking forward to doing this again. Although it was uncomfortable on day two, I know that once my gut is 100%, doing this again is going to be so much more easier. As long as I don't have too much things planned in my diary where I'm going all these different places, I can keep everything at home. I'll be good. And during this fast, I decided I'm not going to train because I don't know what my energy levels would be like. Day two was terrible. On day one, when on yeah, so yeah, on day one, it was, it was okay, but I wasn't too sure how I was going to feel. I wasn't too sure I didn't want to deplete all my energy to then struggle at the end of the fast. So I thought, I just want to see if I can sustain my energy. And on day three, I thought, actually, I'm not too bad. I'm going to hit the gym. And when I went to the gym, my training was okay. I still have a tiny bit of gut sensitivity, but I think it's definitely better than the whole week leading up to Sunday. So I just know within myself that when I do this again, when I train, I'm gonna be killing it. I really am. And I want to show people that you can still smash it in the gym during a fast. And I think all these things where people are saying, I need to eat before training and eat after training, eat 5 times a day in order to have a strong training session. I want to break that myth in explaining to people that your body can be just as strong without any food at all. So, digestion, then you've got I believe improved heart health, like your lipid profile is supposed to improve. So, helping to improve your cholesterol levels, triglycerides, yeah, contributing to a healthier heart. And who doesn't want a good heart health? And this is where it all contributes to longevity. It's all about longevity. You know, things like hormetic stresses. We're so we're a soft nation. Let's be real. This world has just become super sensitive. You say something online, which is a little bit controversial, people start crying. Kids of today, they're not as strong. When we were kids, people of my era, when we used to get our ass kicked from our parents, beating with the belt. Now, I'm not suggesting this is a cool thing to do, but you grow up, you're fine. Like you get used to it, and then you just kind of toughen up through it. If you so much as say something which is a little bit turbulent to an adult, they fall apart. And yeah, kids of today, they're not built the same. It's very different. So all these hormetic stresses, like if you was to have cold therapy, get into a cold bath or have a cold shower. Another hormetic stress is using a sauna. That is another way to build a nice, robust system. It's a form of stress which produces more heat shock proteins, which helps to boost testosterone, helps to boost growth hormone. These stresses enable your body to be more robust. So it's definitely worth looking into for sure. And another thing, because you are kind of not focusing so much on the physical. I need to consume calories to be strong. Consume. Your mental agility goes up because you're not relying on calories. You're not relying on food. And This is when your spiritual strength goes up, you know, your emotional strength goes up. You become a lot more mindful. Yeah, lots of people find that it enhances their mindfulness and spiritual connection. And it's said at this point, it's a very good time to pray, you know, because you're not really so much in your physical body anymore. You're not focusing physically, like you're focusing on your higher self. You're focusing on just some higher strength. So, yeah, meditating at this point, I would say is gonna you're gonna get a lot more of your questions answered. Now, is it for everybody? No, no, definitely not for everybody. And you'd probably need to seek medical supervision before deciding to do something like this. Or not even medical supervision, but if you have just a health practitioner that you see on a regular basis, you know, you might want to double check with them. If you are generally a very healthy person, then I would say your own guess you should tell you whether it's a good thing or not. I tend to see, I don't speak to general practitioners in most cases because all they talk about is drugs. I'll speak to a functional medicine doctor and or watch YouTube videos from functional medicine doctor experts, you know, who give real um just functional advice. So yeah, if your health is good, cool. If you're a person who has metabolic inflexibility, metabolic issues, double check on that because it can feel quite extreme. Um, and yeah, you definitely need to check in on that. However, people who are, let's say, type 2 diabetic, I think it would probably be an amazing thing. But don't take what I say as the gospel. You need to make sure you look into that first. But you know, since there's metabolic irregularities, changing it over where you can potentially be more insulin sensitive, wow, that could be a beautiful thing. Because you've abused your body to the point where it's so used to that influx of sugar, influx of insulin, allowing it to rest over a period of time could potentially switch everything over. You do have people who are diabetic and they or have been diabetic and they reverse it through things like this. But you would need to speak to a medical supervisor before taking on that decision. During this time as well, it is very important to be hydrated. I wouldn't suggest to not drink any water during that time and make sure the liquid is highly mineraled because you're going to be urinating all the time. And yeah, so no minerals, no food, that could be a problem. That could be a real problem. Or should I say no water? Yeah, you don't want to die. And lastly, I would say returning back to your food, breaking your fast, you probably want to start on like a small meal, potentially a smoothie. The first meal I'm going to have is bone broth. So it's literally just going to be liquid bone broth. And then I'll probably have a smoothie shortly afterwards, just keeping it nice and easy. And then I will move over to a solid meal. But tonight it might just be a liquid meal. Liquid meal tonight because I'm not looking to eat super late into the evening. I just want to have some calories and feel happy. And then I will consume some more calories the following day, but a meal. And before that, again, I will be taking this Masszymes, digestive enzymes, to make sure that my stomach is ready to break down these meals to avoid any digestive issues. And that is it. That is it. So hopefully you found this useful. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section down below. If you want any more videos like this, very informative videos, then let me know as well. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe. Until soon.